Welcome to the APL Spotlight Series. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, experiences, and more. And we're so fortunate to have them. They're here to share either their own personal stories, their journey, tips for daily living, and how to walk a smoother path. We've got some really amazing talent coming on the show. We've been in publication, you could say, or airing shows for about 2 years now, and we're booked all the way through to basically September of 2026. Coming back to us today is an incredible psychic medium, animal intuitive, and she wears like 18 other hats. Look for her future book, her podcast, and much more. And she's a veteran at what she's been doing. She's also has had many other hats in society in terms of careers, a Ford model and other walks of life as well. Susan Allen's coming to us from California. She's back with us. I love playing with her. We were just doing that off camera or off air. Susan, great to have you on again. Thank you.
Great to be here, Michael, always.
Well, you're such a talent and you're so gracious and generous with your time with me. I'm excited to have you here. I know that we just put up an angel named Joy before we started the show. That's a photo of an angel. And you and I both heard separately love was going to be our starter topic. How do we tackle the topic of love?
Highest emotion, highest vibration. That's what brings it all to us is to feel into that universal love.
Does everybody have a big heart? Is everybody capable of connecting to the universe, connecting to their higher self or soul, and to let go of what they know long enough to just be at peace?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I have had to do this myself to grow and grow and grow spiritually and to connect is just to see that heart light growing into the love of the universe. It's so big, but we fear it. We fear the ability to tap into it, but we're all born with it. We just have to remember that we can go there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Beth from the 1970s, that light being that kind of kicked things off, Jane Roberts and the whole New Age stuff in the 70s. He talked about the only place you're going to get your answers or get your expansion or get the next level of soul growth is within. It's not going to be found externally.
Mhm.
You got to go through the world you know, through your heart into a broader reality. I believe it's Dan Millman, Way of the Peaceful Warrior, the book, and the movie Peaceful Warrior.
My favorite author.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Nick Nolte plays Sock, who's actually an angel
Hmm.
to meet. Maybe later we'll remember to bring that angel in. He's sitting in a bar
Hmm.
in the movie scene with Scott Meklowitz. That's Nick Nolte playing Mr. Miyagi figure. And he says, people are afraid to go within and what's inside. And it's the only place you can go. And then we'll do Esther Hicks as well, Abraham Hicks, same message. So talk to us more about this is the last place people want to go. Why again? It's heart, it's thinking, fear, you know,
Fear that you don't have it, thinking you have to go outside yourself to find it. And the way to that love is sitting in the junk, is to just go within, face that feeling of fear that you won't be able to connect to the light. Because the light is where all the love comes from. The light is where you get your intuition. The light and that love is in you, and everybody can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. It's available.
have you been noticing a difference in your clients, the kind of caliber of your clients? Are people more willing or ready to go here?
I think so. I think the light also helps you bring people that are on that, you know, platinum road to Oz instead of the golden road to Oz. When I visualize the love of the universe and I connect with that, I see like a platinum road of sparkliness. And then that road brings me who I'm supposed to help next. So I would say yes.
Okay, and I'm going to put up three angels to add something to the mix. So you're going to do a little listening on our behalf, but they're also going to push you in a fourth direction that's all you. What's Joy say about what we were just talking about?
She gives me a big yes.
And then Charlotte, what's she have to add?
Go for it.
And Min, is this something that everybody should be paying attention to?
I think so. I think that's the nature part of the love because there's so much beauty in the world and there's so much that's happening. We're paying too much attention to what the news is saying and what's happening rather than to go higher to the love that's there and the light. The light's bright. We just need to connect to the light, and it just requires trust that we can do it.
How about we do a 5-second exercise? And I would argue that if you just go beyond words, you're bypassing all the limits of being human. Not that we're going to get rid of thinking or what we know or the societal level of dialogue, whether it's in the spiritual community, on one of those bigger shows, or anything else. But here's Joy. Just here, you've got this. You can put your hand out like it's getting $50, or you can just use you as the hand. Ask Joy to come in and vibe you out to the point where you're getting a message that you're like, oh, and if you'll take us somewhere after that. And anyone can do this at home. So I'll put up our photo for a little extra. And just put your hand out, treat her like a fireplace while Susan's doing what she's doing. And get, like, we'll call it a symphony of light, a frequency transmission if you want. If you want to see symbols with your eyes closed, but you can see them with your eyes open first. And everybody in America does eyes closed. That's cool. But you can have both. Like, have your cake and eat it too. Okay, Susan, what are you getting from Joy?
My joy and her joy is, besides the universal love, it's the animal kingdom and nature and trees. There's so much quiet love there, it's incomprehensible.
Hmm.
So when I connect with her, she said, talk to the animals. Like, I see myself, I visualize that in nature with just animals. And then I go higher than that. Lots of trees, healthy environment, healthy love with beautiful animals, lots of animals.
And I have an angel named Mac. Don't call her Mackenzie, who's everything plants and animals. Have her come in and have the tree consciousness come in, the elephant consciousness come in, the dolphin consciousness. And again, what are you getting as an extra level of communication?
Trust. We have to trust more.
Hmm.
Trust that it's there, and trust that it loves us, and trust that we're getting, exactly what we need on a daily basis, and get out of the headspace. Just be trusting of what's next and what's coming. Because so many people I find are in fear and worry, and we don't want that. We want the trust that the next available piece of information is coming in through the power of love.
It's really easy to put the news on, a TV on, and pick a side on something, or to know what you know to the preclusion
Mm-hmm.
of possibility. Guarantee anyone out there there'll be an opposite viewpoint. How do we step past thinking? How do we trust our heart more? And then micro moments. It's more about less doing and more being. Can you hit this from another angle? That it's more about what Thich Nhat Hanh says in Pieces Every Step, enjoying doing the dishes, hugging your
Yeah,
for a little extra time.
yes, exactly. I don't tell people they have to sit in meditation. That's my space, right? But if you have a chore to do it in peace and love, like Thich Nhat Hanh, washing dishes and loving it and being in a meditative state. Lots of people reach that element of love just doing their dishes. It doesn't have to be complicated. And I personally, I don't watch the news. I mean, if I hear about something on an elevator, um, then I'm like, oh, okay, so I was supposed to hear about that. But I don't fill my heart and soul with that, because I think being a sensitive, I don't think it's good. And if you find yourself watching something that isn't bringing you a high vibe, you know that that's not your highest calling to watch that.
I think it was Pema Chodron. I can never pronounce anybody's name correctly, except for Susan Allen in California. Hit the subscribe button, like, share, but most important, comment on something that you've related to that she said. But if you're shy at all, and that's okay, put an emoji down. That counts as a comment. Okay, here's Thich Nhat Hanh to add something from the other side. Plenty of people have met him. If you
Mm,
want to see a little bit of golden light around the room, but he's super peaceful.
yeah.
What's he saying right now?
walk with peace, walk with God. God is peace, the universal energy. Just be in peace, quiet the mind.
For you personally on your journey, and it's been a long one because of so much ebb and flow and changing careers and so on, what in the
Yeah.
last year to 3 years have you really been coming around to appreciate even more?
On recognizing my own growth emotionally and spiritually. And I kind of like look at myself outside myself and go, wow, how did I go from that to where I am now? What growth? What rising from the ashes like a phoenix? That's what I say. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
I'm going to put up Audrey Hepburn for another insight, another topic. Here she is, Angel, and it's a historical photograph. People can let a photograph move, eyebrow goes up, a wink, a smile, catch uninvented perfume from Paris or Milan if you prefer. Let me know when you see her move in the photo.
I always see her move whenever you
Yay.
pick her photo up.
And then if you want to get the small of her hand elegant and graceful on the small of your back or on your shoulder and get a squeeze, or you can put your hand out like getting $50 or all the above. Have her physically hold your hand as a human and give you a squeeze. Let us know what you get, but more importantly, she is so upbeat. What is her reminder for us all?
To get out of yourself and help somebody else, like to help serve somebody else, because that would help raise your vibration. No matter where you are, you can give somebody a smile, have a chat with somebody you wouldn't ordinarily chat with. It raises your vibration to go outside of yourself to be of service. And that's what she represents to me.
And you hit on my like number one favorite quote from Angels that I've had for like 10 or 12 years. I love reading it on the show, so I'm going to do so. And then we're going to play around a little more and bring in some more angels and keep you talking. Okay,
Okay.
sometimes the person next to you or a stranger just needs validation via love and compassion. A smile changes any moment. So too
Mm-hmm.
does laughter or a few kind words. Be compassion to all. Do it. How much do you love that? It's exactly what you just said.
Yes, that's where it's at. That's really where it's at.
Okay, I'm going to light some sage. Folks at home, you can catch it. It doesn't matter if the year is 2028, you're in Tokyo, Berlin, or Christchurch. You can still catch the sage. I think a big message is this is beyond time and space. No limits is no limits. Don't tell science this, or even half the spiritual community, or your neighbor. Just enjoy a little more love and sparkle in the moment. Let angels in the universe do their job. Or tap Susan Allen to help you bust through barriers and own what you've already got. Okay, here's the sage. We've done this a bunch of times, and we were doing it before the show. Are you getting it in California from Texas?
Yes, definitely.
Catch flowers. And what type of ocean are you getting? Is it Kauai or Kauai?
Oh, it's definitely Kauai.
Okay.
And the ocean is so different on different sections of Kauai.
And then, with your permission, I'll put my hands up, show light. It'll be just my light, and I don't mean just, it should be pretty light. You might get like objects, images, whatever, flowers, and
Mm-hmm.
animals. Somebody got a running buffalo once. Two different people got phoenixes, but it could be geometric vortices. But as soon as you've got mine and you can say it out loud, ask the universe and a ton of fun angels for you and light beings and others to crank it up and do extra. You might get flares, sparks, fireworks, geometric swirling. Again, it is what it is. If anybody at home needs help, go run around outside, hug trees, go for your normal run, take a shower, play Vivaldi, and sing to, your or sing to your favorite song. Go crazy. Let go. Be here. Okay, are you ready to say I'm ready?
I'm ready, ready.
Here's a little bit of light, but more importantly, you get a dad joke. Where in a hospital is the worst place to play hide and seek? Where? In the
Where?
in the ICU.
I
And what light do you see between my fingers?
see blue cerulean.
You get to come back on the show. I love that answer. Okay. Now I'm going to go bigger and let angels, Joy, Charlotte, Min, 100 other angels, your guardian angel, and many other loving beings come in. What are you getting now?
Unconditional love. Beautiful.
Okay. And visually, are you seeing extra energy or just bigger of what you saw before?
I see extra energy. I see angels and a lot of light beings coming in.
Woo. And we'll go right into light beings. There's a light being named Grace. She's orange light, enthusiasm, super fun. If you can allow for Grace to come in, just orange light, enthusiasm, hip, very hip. What are you feeling first? How do you do it to get out of your own way and just let love come in? It's like planting seeds in a garden when you're into it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you
Just
getting from Grace?
mm, what I get when I feel into her energy is that orange, beautiful, heart-centered light that grows and grows and grows outward, past to universal love. And that's when I always feel my best. Honestly, I always feel my best when I'm truly connected to that, even if it's just 20 minutes in the morning and I just connect to that light. It's beautiful.
If you don't mind asking Joy and Charlotte and Audrey to hold your foundation, your space for you, that could be your shoulders or just feel extra support. Let Grace show in your hand. Put your hand out like you're getting 50 bucks. You can do it off camera, on camera, depending on if you're shy or not, which you're not.
Mm.
But when you see the orange light, just bring it into your heart for an extra quantum hug all the way through cellular, everything. If you don't mind doing it 2 or 3 more times, but get a mantra out of that for everybody to hear.
Joy is love. Joy is love.
I love that. And people at home can just play it over if they need to, or they can just do it on their own. Pause, put your hand out, see the orange light. A lot of people only feel it because they're not going to give themselves a break.
Mm-hmm.
But when you watch a movie, are you worried about how you're going to react emotionally? When you flip a light switch, are you worried about the light switch 2 Tuesdays ago that you flipped? Did you do it too fast, too slow? Did the lights react enough? Do I need to get an electrician? Your brain will not let you worry about a light switch and half your day. The other half, if it's about your neighbor, your job, your relationship, this, that, what you saw in the news, good luck with that. Welcome to being human. Welcome to more thinking. So, talk to
Mm-hmm.
us about the difference between awareness or love and
Mm-hmm.
thinking fears limits. Talk to us more about that and how to walk a smoother path.
Well, I go back to the Louise Hay mantra that's all over Instagram. It's like she says, I'm going through this and I know it's my highest and the best is going to come out of this and she just would repeat that mantra over and over. The best and my highest self will come out of this situation. The best and my highest self. That's if you can't shut your brain off enough to sit with this orange, gorgeous, loving light in your heart and shoot it out into space, above the clouds, into the galaxies, and universal love, and to connect with that, because that's kind of where we need to be right now. Where we have to, it's like going to the gym, Michael. It's like you don't really want to go to the gym, but 20 minutes into that workout, your serotonin levels get fixed and you feel better and you're having that high. That's the same with working with the love and growing this, because when you reach that, even though it's hard and you're like, how am I going to do this? You just focus on that bright, gorgeous light in your chest and you bring it out and out and out into the universe. And that is when you reach that part, it will calm you and soothe you and kind of carry you through your day.
First thing in the morning, in a shower, meditation. Talk to us about some of those opportunities to tap what you just described.
Yeah, I love, that shower, even if you have like no time and you're rushing to get out and whatever your morning is, have that shower and envision like all the fear, all the negativity, all the worries going down that drain. That is a really good one. And it will center you. And even if you have to spend a couple more minutes in that shower, like centering yourself, using that shower to center you, it's a great, easy fix. But if you have that extra time, I've always like told my mentees, get up the 20 minutes earlier, even if you feel like you have to force yourself to do it, because your body, your tool to grow into the universal love so that you feel better. It's not about anybody else but you working on your light, because that's where the change really starts to happen, working on your peace. There's nothing more important than your peace. And that's a great mantra. You have to think when you're thinking something, is that bringing you peace, fear, or worry? And you have to go back to there is nothing more important than my peace. Like, I'm not saying leave your child outside unattended
Hmm.
if that child is not making you feel peaceful, but you have to have a different reaction to the child that's driving you crazy. You have to go within and say, hey, how are these thoughts serving me? Having this feeling, it's not serving you. So you have to use your mind and control that thought and go back to it's not worth it. Because when you lose control or when you have fear and worry, it doesn't create angelic light, it creates more worry. So you have to always control the mind through there's nothing more important than my peace. It's a great mantra.
And it's a great point. The cultivation of your discernment versus the cultivation of your authentic inner awareness, power, you. It's kind of like digging a ditch. When you're doing the thinking, you're shoving the dirt back into the ditch, totally, blocking the task at hand. And but you don't realize it. That's the whole thing. So we're always going to complain, judge, react, reject, stress, fear, worry. But if you could do a little less of it, I think it's Charlotte who said 7% less daily is the Olympic gold medal. Get something from Charlotte that's a little new and a newer direction for us. And what are you hearing?
I just hear if you do lose it and you do flip a lid, it's like my favorite term. Um, be nice to yourself, just be gentle and go, oh, okay, I had that reaction. Because that's like part of growth. Like, that term, 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. That's part of the growth cycle, is knowing how terrible that made you feel by losing your cool or having a fight with somebody, and just going back to being gentle and kind instead of berating yourself and saying, I shouldn't have sent that letter, or I shouldn't have had that reaction. That screwed up everything. If you're gentle and kind with yourself in the midst of a crisis, you'll have more spiritual growth. It's sitting with that. And, my spiritual teacher would always say, sit in the pain, because that's where the gold is. Sit with that emotion and feel what that feels like, because that's where the real spiritual growth is. Even though it doesn't feel so good, you want to feel like you just bought the best pair of shoes on sale, or you want to have that great feeling, or you want to have the Anini Beach feeling. When that's not there, it's okay, and you just have to have that soft small voice, that child inside, and take care of that. There's a lot to that.
We can do the car battery analogy or metaphor if you want, which is you got a weak car battery. You got to drive it daily. You're not really driving the car enough to keep the battery going.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it sputters when you start. Welcome to being human. You're not having the best start to the day or a moment, but you can quickly jumpstart it, max capacity, charged, ready to go, and it purrs like a Formula One race car. You might have to get the universe's help, your higher self, your soul, or just let go a little and be surprised. So let's take that step a little, but you're going to have to pick an angel. It could be Joy Charlotte Mack or Audrey Hepburn. Who's saying pick me?
Charlotte, of course.
Okay. And Charlotte, I'm going to put my hand up in a second, but you can already start to catch the light around you. And less my energy, love and above only here, not complaining about anything. I'm going back to thinking, though, after the show tapes. Hopefully, not too much. But here's my hand. If you'll do love and above in California, first feel a flow, and then ask angels to turn it up on that 1970s receiver with the big knob. What are you feeling right now if we're allowing for extra love to come through?
Yeah, I feel the higher self, the good parent, the love parent, honoring myself, honoring each individual person that's struggling. It's like a self honor, like how our society is built to look to the person that has the stuff or has the means or has the celebrity. Honor that soul inside of you that got to where you are today. It's an honoring, going back in and loving that person. And Charlotte is a great teacher.
And I'm going to whoosh once with Charlotte coming in, so it's a lot extra. It'll either be geography, like some period in time, Tahiti, Hawaii, ancient Egypt, it'll be something. And let waves of light, I'll put my hand down after that, but
Okay.
let waves of light come in and you get rippled, whooshed, and vorticed to make up a verb. But lots of fun and love. And if you want to get sparkles all over the room, get them. Whatever isn't your usual cup of tea at home, ask for it. That's what will you allow for daily? Don't even answer it. Just say, make it nice. Okay, here we go. What do you get?
My beautiful friend that's in spirit, Nicole, would always say, sparkle magic. Just think sparkle magic. So, and I love that term. And I would never use it, but I just got it now, big time.
Aw. Okay, you want to close your eyes and have her come in verbatim, hear her voice clear as a, I don't know if this is an expression, clear as a pistol. But boom, have her come in, close your eyes, and just, she's got a great message. Super crystal clear. What'd you get? Or what are you getting?
Live life in the light.
Ooh. And you can turn anything into a mantra. If you say it enough, eventually your subconscious or your
Mm-hmm.
conscious will believe it. I don't know which way
Mm-hmm.
it works, but the point is just do it enough until unconsciously you've accepted it into your field.
Exactly. And we are the light. So we want to say, I am the light in our mantra. I am the light. I am the light. I am the light. Because as you say that, you're accepting this soul frequency that's so high, even if you don't believe it. It's like I had a medium, 30 years ago say to me, fake it till you make it. So even if you don't believe it, just say, I am the light. I am light. I am the light. Nothing is more important than peace. Nothing is more important than peace. And you eventually get there, Michael, because you're rewiring your heart, your mind, and your body, and your cells hear that. I am the light.
And even if you messed it up, you suddenly are like, you're judging it now. You're like, well, I don't know if I want to say I am the light. Like, I'm more than the light. You might be the picky type. You're like, I got to go bigger. I don't know. But the point is,
Beautiful.
even if you flubbed it, experience is what you get when you don't get what you think you want. So you're going to get experience no matter what, as long as you let it fly. Wing it. I think angels would agree with that one. Wing it. Uh,
Love it.
okay. What would you want to remind us of? What do you wish you had learned right at the gate, getting into this whole spirituality intuitive thing, or just letting go and trusting the universe more? Give us a couple pointers.
Nobody can break you except yourself. Nobody has the power to hurt you except you and how you process that. So to go inside and work with your own light, you're in charge. You're in charge of your joy. You have the power beyond the limits to create a magical life for yourself. And that's really important that we don't think we have. We don't realize the power that we have within to change our life, to change our frequency, to change the future. It's really, really, we weren't taught this in school, and it's the most powerful thing. It's quantum. We change everything in our lives by our thoughts, how we act. We're in charge. We're completely in charge.
I love that. That was incredible. Okay, whichever way you want to do this, you can put your hand off camera, on camera. You can have light show up physically, see it. You can have your hand held. Have one of your jajillion unconditional love figures come in, or one of the ones we've already had on the show. Somebody's going to come in. Maybe they put two hands on your shoulders, one hand on each shoulder. Potluck, who's yelling, pick me, and is coming straight in?
I always get the energy of Saint Teresa.
And what is, oh, do I have the right one?
No, the one that's,
Oh,
I love her too, but
okay.
we're talking about the one from France in the early 1900s or the late 1800s. But that's always the one that's been my guide since I'm a little kid.
And what does she have as a reminder for us all?
She's got child energy, and we have to preserve that in us, that beautiful little child. Like how would we treat a little child in our presence that looks up to us? That's us. And that's who we have to work with all the time, because that's your intuition, that little child in you.
Those are our dogs. And those are our
Yes.
instructors and borrow dogs. If you don't own a dog, make sure you're saying hi to every dog, unless it looks mean. But the point is, everything is your
Dogs are healers. Dogs
yeah,
are angels coming in. Yes,
yeah.
100%.
And everything's your opportunity for growth or expansion. We're all kids just out of college in the basement. We haven't gotten our first job yet, but I'm telling you, we all have unlimited room for growth and career expansion. Welcome to mankind, by the way. So, if you don't mind, let's do the adults in the room. We got to address like how serious mankind is, the self-importance. We know everything. There's science that it's proven. If it's not proven, it doesn't count. There's logos, reason, rationale, logic, ego. That's not where any of this is at. Like that's kind of now fourth grade or fourth form, or we'll give them credit, junior year in college. What we're talking about is beyond human knowledge, right?
It is. It's beyond. It's really important that what you have, no matter what level you're at, even if you didn't go to college, because I didn't have the best college years. I have a degree, but I was so not there. Even if you have none of that, and even if you have nothing, you can grow your life by thinking about beauty, joy, love. You can grow in a different direction.
So I've only learned like three things in 13 years or so, I think. And it's where you put your focus is where you put it. How you spend your energy is how you spend it. And the universe is really big, and there's tons of angels out there ready to help the second you get out of your own way. Talk to us about those dynamics because I think you're touching on that right now.
Well, for me, how I really worked on this was I really went back to that little kid in me that I left. And this is ancient, like Ho'oponopono training that I've had. Not the weekend version of the training. I went years and years with this, and it's to embrace the child that we leave. Because the minute we leave that child is at a very, very, very young age to please the parents, to be in society, to project out what is expected of us from the time we are birthed. So to embrace that little kid, I mean, I had to go back and find a little picture of myself that was the sweetest and work with little Susie and make her feel secure and make her feel embraced and bring her love. And she's she's like in me and part of where I'm going and where I go on a daily basis. So I have to remember her and take care of her. And it's easier if you think about it, which I love. It's so much easier to take care of a little innocent child than it is to take care of our adult self, because we're always beating ourselves up. Why didn't I get that job? Why aren't I here? I did all this manifestation work. I did the dream board. Why did I end up in this terrible marriage? Like we're always asking the adult, and we're beating the adult up. So it's so much easier to go back to that. Find a picture of yourself that when you were a little kid and you were so vulnerable and still so sweet and not beaten down by classmates, teachers, or parents, and embrace that little girl or little boy and talk to that and nurture that soul and let them know you're never going to leave them. That is your good. And just keep working with that child inside of you, because that's a high vibration, and that's how you get beyond why didn't this happen yet? And I'm this age, and I should be here. I should have this. I should have that. Doesn't work. Just brings us down. What works is working with that little precious gift inside me, inside you. That's the gift, the child self.
Who's doing the talking? Is it up here or down here? Who's doing the flowing? Good luck with figuring that out. But that is the gist of this: is where are you coming from? I've got a Hawaiian healer for you, Kapuna Auntie Margaret. You're gonna hopefully feel your hands light up. If you don't mind putting your hands up for this one, she's a sweetie. The last I'll say about her is she's love on a Hawaiian breeze, and definitely catch a lot of aloha. Get
Mm,
a private message and just say got it, not to be shared out loud. And catch Hawaii
got
in
it.
the air. I'm going to blow a little Hawaii, and then if you want, she'll relay something for all of us: how to keep it simple, how to keep it real, how to keep it real simple. Here comes the Hawaii in the air. Got a little Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do it. Blame Kapuna, Auntie Margaret, and Angels. Don't blame Canada. What is she relating to you? What do you have as an experience that you can share? And what do you think?
It always begins inside and with us. So she just walks in love. And it's all about just feeling that inside of yourself. It's just about the love, really.
And I've only done this on like 7 out of 300 shows. I think I put my parents up in their 20s about 7 times, I'm going to say. Hopefully, I'm not a sap doing it 20 times out of 300 shows, but I'm going to put them up. They're in their early 20s. My dad died in 1970 when I was 2. My mom, when I was turning 23. Both high vibe. He knew he was going to go early. It was their time to go. They're sweeties. They're reconciled. They're on the other side. They give good advice. They've got some humor. My mom's 5'4" and a pistol. Here they are, young.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you getting as a reminder for us all from two humans who were just paying the bills yesterday?
Yeah. Well, your mom is such a big spirit for you. Your dad too, of course, but your mom is funny and she uses her humor to get around harder times. She uses humor a lot. And I think that's a great antidote for all of us.
And I'm going to do a dad joke as well, then, just to mix
Yeah.
it up. I'll tell everybody how I got all my dad jokes. And that was back at university in Mumbai. I double majored in cloning and hide and seek. I never finished the program. I had to take a year off to find myself. Cloning, hide and seek. I had to walk back in the store the next day and ask for that joke to be explained to me. I knew it was funny, but that's how it is on spirituality and the uptake. I'm slow, actually. 2 years to get a lesson that I see everybody on the show do like that. So take encouragement, take heart, I think is the big message that Susan shared
Yeah.
with us. Be here and everything unlocks, unfolds for you pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one more figure, unless you want to do a couple extras later, but Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, the one from 100 years ago, I'm going to make it up, like 1868. I forgot the year he was born, to 1918 or so. He's unconditional love, Mr. Miracles, tight with angels, catch a little India incense in the air. What are you getting from him as an aha? We totally have to talk about this topic.
I just feel like he's hugging trees for me. And that's like the highest vibration is to really be in nature. And if you're having a bad feeling, just give it to a tree. They can absorb it,
Hmm.
and transmute it and give you back the energy that you need. Even if you don't believe it, try it. It works.
Let's do a different type of checklist. We're pilots on a 747. They always have these checklists to take off, to land, to do anything except get a meal. Um, if you're watching TV a lot, if you're on a device, iPad, iPhone all the time, if you're having thoughts that are not cheerful and you're not doing a happy dance for no reason,
Right.
something's up. How can
Yes.
we unplug a little? How can we make sure? Is it barefoot on the grass? Is it doing your thank you, forgive me, I love you sort of routine? How can you
Mm-hmm.
get out of this?
I
to,
really go out and hug a tree. Like when I'm having like these bad feelings come up, I know that they're not mine. Honestly, they're
yeah.
not my feelings. There's something that's happening around me, and I run out and hug a tree, and it works. I mean, I found this much later in life. Someone told me to go hug a tree, and it really is big. And now I work with the trees. I work my visualization when I reach out from my heart self into the universe. I see so many trees, which we so need on this planet. So many, so many, so many. And in the density of the trees, I see thousands, thousands of animals. And I see that grows. And then I connect to the universal love. And then it grows and grows and grows. And honestly, Michael, that is how I got much stronger in my work, is working with nature, working with animals, working with trees and growing it. And it almost feels like at this point of my work, it's kind of like I'm impenetrable. And when I'm not doing that on a daily basis, that's when the little negativity comes in. So it's like going to the gym. It's really like a workout for yourself, for your sanity and your health.
I love it. And just getting a hug from someone, being in a mall, at the workplace, touch, physical contact. I don't have many rules or structure.
Mm-hmm.
Just set your intent. And there was probably a basic rule that I forgot. Oh, yeah. Ask angels to help you. Hey, angels, get me out of my head into my heart. Help me, blah, 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 blah. Thank you. That's enough. I don't usually remember much, but I was given some rules by three Native American chiefs like 10, 13 years ago. I had to dig it out the other days. Wear bright colors. Don't make eye contact where you're not comfortable. Energy, the eyes connect, and don't touch the skin and negativity, stuff like that. Um, I think what you said was so important because anytime you find yourself having thoughts that are heavy and that you recognize are not the normal you, you
Yeah.
probably just picked up someone else's energy and there's ways to
Yeah.
clear. Give us three or four quick ways to clear.
If you're out in public and you're having like scary negative thoughts, find somebody to talk to clear. Like just even the girl that's in the fitting room that's taking your clothes, be pleasant. Because as you're being pleasant and changing her vibration by being kind and loving and pleasant, you're changing your own vibration by just speaking words.
Hmm.
If you're home and you grab something on TV that just brought you down, something that you don't want to hear, and that's scary because a lot of people are having that where they'll just turn the TV on and something very scary has been said. Go out in nature, get out of the house, get out of that environment. And I'm a sage burner. I mean, it just works for me. I'm a big sage burner. And let me tell you, it works because if I'm feeling that and I burn sage, which I did yesterday, and it was so cool. I could feel completely different after I burned that sage. So it's important to have that sage around too.
And before we get to dolphin consciousness and elephant consciousness, I forgot we can bring those two in. I've got a quick story from like 10 years ago, and I used to teach people to give your ego a really cool name, a Formula One race car driver, an opera singer, Fittipaldi, or a soccer star, Brazilian in particular, something really exotic. Anytime you feel heavy, you're like, oh, whoa, the world's shut down. You're not yelling like, I love you. Hello, Mr. Bluebird. You're the opposite. You can ask in the most respectful, loving way, truly from the heart. You can ask your ego if it wants a hug. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
3 minutes of peace, and you're going to notice an immediate difference. So I was teaching that, and I remember one morning in my original Austin home, I'm in San Antonio now. I've got one of those big 20-ounce mugs, the rare mugs that are much bigger, full of coffee. And I'm like, whoa, what are these thoughts? This is like not my happy me. I'm very
Right.
enthusiastic, and I'm like, well, I better take my own advice and do this. So I'm like, hello, Mr. Higglesworth, the name I had given to my ego back then. How are you? Would you like a hug? And I've got a full cup of coffee, and every alarm in the house, fire alarm, top and bottom, went off. And had it been a year or two earlier when I was skittish, I would have dropped that mug and I would have been cleaning to this day all the coffee
Wow.
splashes. Yeah. So handshaking, I put my mug down and I called my lifeline and Bastrop, a psychic who was really kind to give me some of her time and be a a safety blanket. She's like, you were just a little too pushy. Don't try to give your ego a black eye or know anything. Just be love, and then it won't bruise you back. And it was, that was it.
Because
So
we're meant to be at peace. That's
yeah.
that's what we're meant to be. We're meant to have our peace.
And you have to trust it as a natural state. What you were saying about being a kid before, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and find a photo of you that when you were happy. It could be college, high school, when you were a kid, 6, 10
Yeah.
years old. Own it and
Mm-hmm.
know that you never missed a step, skipped a beat, anything. You're still that exact energy or love or you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, dolphin consciousness is like the most fun. You can get bubbles, not puddles, bubbles all around and vortices, even though you're not in water right now. They'll come and visit. Have Joy come in to be the lead ringleader here, a pink dolphin. When you're ready, close your eyes and get whooshed, whisked, vorticed, bubbled, watered out. Are you feeling delight?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, okay, but you got to use more words to really let us know you're feeling it because there's a lot of people watching and they're like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do any of this." It's not about, it's like watching a movie. Just relax, let go. You don't judge how you watch
Yeah.
a movie. Do it.
It's just a feeling that, I love dolphins, and I remember I was in Kauai at Christmas doing an event and the spinner came up. I was on a boat and I've been told it's rare to get a spinner. He jumped up and he spun around with such enthusiasm and such joy that I remember that energy. And that's the energy we want to have, that joy, because we're in charge of that.
Okay, let's get a yes or no from Joy and a bit of laughter. Can you connect with that spinner dolphin who said hi that day? Yes or no? And does she say, "Of course, duh"? Okay. And did you get a yeah?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, now here's your dolphin sort of just, our cheerleader to get you connected. Have that dolphin come ringing in with a very unique hello. They've been around a million years. I think we should give them even more credit than we give them today.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, what are you getting from that spinner dolphin? Literally let it fly. You're opening openness itself. Tibetan Buddhism, that crowd is cheering right now, us using that expression. You're opening openness. What are you getting from that one dolphin? I'm not looking your way. I'm giving you as much privacy. You're on a show, but what are you getting?
We all have an energy around us that's spinning all the time. And we're protecting that energy. And we need to remember that we have a vortex around us, like that spinner coming out and showing us. We each have an energy field. And it's part of being human. We were blessed with that. We were born with that. And that's our birthright.
And then last, channeling through an angel or a dolphin or anything else, but Joy has a very specific something for us all. What do you think she's saying?
Be the love. Be what you want from outside. Scott Peck, in one of his books, I think, The Road Less Traveled, he said, I think that's the book. I read it in when I was like 11. We can't expect for society to come to us. We have to go out into society. So you really have to be the love of what you want to experience.
Scott Peck, The Road Less Traveled. I love that reference. And what you just said encapsulates almost everything. Whether you wanted to start a business, change career, have that special relationship, get going on the road and travel the world, or just get the finances going so you feel like you have more freedom. It's what you just said. Put yourself into that light, into that fun, and allow the universe to do the rest. That's my cat named Presley. I'm gonna give her a plug. Um,
Absolutely. I just saw her come in for this. She's
yeah.
like, Amen. You got it.
She's named after an angel who's just wrote in on Elvis Presley movies and said, "Call me Presley." And I'm not a huge Elvis fan. I mean, I am now, but you can meet Elvis. And we'll do that next. But I was just turning on the TV back in Austin like 10 or 12 years ago, and it was always Elvis movies. I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is a wake up that I've got an angel coming in, and I'm like, I need to pay attention. And so the angel comes in. She's like, "Call me Presley." She got stuck. If joy is joy, faith is faith, grace is grace, hope is hope, harmony is harmony, She's the interconnectedness of all. That's a mouthful. So, with your permission, and I don't have a photo that's representative of her, have Presley come in, the interconnectedness of all angel. And she's got a really cute message for you and for myself and for everyone watching. What are you getting from Presley?
Honestly, she wants some treats. Like, she's like looking around looking for the treats. So I wonder if that's like for us that treat yourself, be nice to yourself. It's all about that.
I love it. And then Elvis, pick red, white, or blue. He was super spiritual. I didn't know. And he almost got out of the
Oh,
music business, but red, white, or blue.
blue.
Okay. And deeply spiritual. And on the other side, reconciled, wonderful, gives great advice. What are you hearing as a final bit of advice for us all as we walk our unique, wonderful, loving life paths?
Be brave. He was brave.
And Susan Allen, if there's a word to describe you, it's bold and brave. I'll use two words. You've been walking an incredible path, Ford model, Arthur Findlay College for some of your training, but I'd argue that the universe and life and all your other experiences and your innate, normal,
Mhm.
or ordinary abilities are not so ordinary. You were able to
Mhm.
just focus and not focus at the same time to let those come out and to help so many people. So thank you for doing what you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Arthur Findlay was only last year. I just went because I had heard so much about it and I wanted to experience a teacher that had passed that she was from the beginning days at Arthur Findlay. Her name was Mavis Patilla, and she was the first one that recognized my mediumship in, a group setting. She was so loving. And when I walked up the stairs at Arthur Findlay, she had already passed. And in her British, beautiful accent that she had, she said, "Oh, darling, welcome," as I was walking upstairs. And I went, "Oh my God." It was pretty extraordinary. And then I went into the library, and there she is on the wall. Her, her photo was on the wall. And I was like, okay. I knew I was supposed to be there. It's pretty extraordinary.
Mm. And people can Google it, but I mean, it is a very specific, fine bit of architecture. It's like literally
Yeah.
an estate, like Hogwarts out of Harry Potter, probably maybe, I mean, tangentially kind of related that way. Beautiful school. I mean, 365 windows, if I remember, to match the calendar days, very specific stuff. And we've had about 4 to 5 guests on the show who have gone there. I can only think of two off the top of my head. Mark Lanehart, who's the Seattle radio show host, and was 2020 Psychic of the Year via one organization. And then Mark Anthony, if people know the lawyer, psychic, medium, he's wonderful. Had him on the show a lot. And same thing with the other Mark. They went there as well, and it's always fun to hear them talk about it. So they share some of that.
It's very different after I left. It's like it disbanded. A lot of the amazing teachers went off on their own.
Oh,
So I feel like I was so blessed to get there before it completely changed.
wow, I didn't know this. And it was super strict before. They literally put you
Oh,
in the
very
center of the
strict.
room, and it was like the equivalent of Oxford, and you're not allowed
Yeah,
any notes, and they literally
that's
put you
right.
through the ringer nonstop to make sure everything was drilled into
It
you.
was pretty amazing because I went there and we did like, speed dating. You sit across from other mediums and you have to give readings like in a row. And I was like, okay. And I sat across from a British medium and I said, "Your cat is here and he's white and he has one blue eye and one green eye." And that's very specific. And she said, "Yes, that's my cat. He had one blue." And I was like, if anybody gave me that kind of information, I would be so excited.
Okay, we'll do one last thing, but this is only if my parents, Charlotte and Joy, give you permission and say, yeah. I'll use me as a guinea pig. Here's Charlotte, here are my parents, and then I'll put up Joy. If you'll do your psychic stuff and share something, I don't mind anything going public, but get one, two, or
Okay.
three things that I need to hear out loud or the audience should hear on any front. I'm the guinea pig, and let me just do this. I give full permission. What are you getting, and who's feeding you some of the information? Is Charlotte and Joy stepping right in, or is it my mom? Who's Who's doing the
Well, it was your dad first and then your mom, because he's very specific about guiding you. So he's definitely a guide for you, because I feel like he wanted to be there for you, but he had gotten called to the spirit world way too soon or way too early. But your mom stands next to him and they're very much in love, very together for you. And they're just saying that this is kind of just the beginning for you, Michael. Like there's a whole nother level that you're going to. And it's kind of funny because they have you. Was your dad a pilot or was he? Okay. Oh,
naval
okay.
aviator. He was not the actual guy at the controls. It was
Right.
1970 nighttime crash off of Naples, Italy, off the Roosevelt Harrier F4 Phantom, but no body recovered. 1998, they
Okay.
put him into Arlington ceremony. So 28 years later, did I get that right? The math?
Okay. Don't tell me anything. Let
Oh,
me give
yes.
you the info because he gave me the image of your inner plane and he's got you strapped in because that's where you're going. It's like going straight up.
It's
And
well,
so I
in the
thought, is
long
he a
term.
pilot? Is that why he's giving me that, pilot analogy?
I love it.
But they give me those images and thoughts, and he's got you. Like, don't worry, it's going to go fast. The trajectory is happening, but he's got you strapped in, so he's got you embraced.
And he saved me, it turns out, in 1990. It wasn't my time to drown, but I mean, I literally hit my head 1 foot into the water in Nantucket off the shore. I was
Oh,
bodyboarding and literally the beach, the sand, the shells, and there's a little dip. And my head hit the bottom, just got pitched a little, and I saw stars, and it
mhm.
wasn't my time to go. But angels helped him help me and got me the last 2 feet onto shore. I'm sure I was shaking it off, but I'd also hit my shoulder. I had 3 shoulder injuries in a week,
Wow,
and it was a bunch of
wow.
stuff, part of the big picture stuff in life. But that was incredible. And maybe we can get a last little bit from Charlotte and Joy. What are they saying? And again, I don't mind my privacy being invaded. I give full permission.
There's a little dog that your dad is holding too. So it was either your dog or his dog, but it's like a beigey brown dog. Would you understand that dog?
Yeah, it's my dog named Hinkley in the
Okay.
70s that I had, my first dog.
Yeah. Well, they've got that dog and it's funny and cute and just jumping back and forth from mom and dad. So I feel
Oh,
like that's the best energy is animal energy from the spirit world. It's the highest vibration of love.
I love that. That dog is named after Hinkley Beach in Nantucket.
Oh, wow.
Well, Susan Allen, thank you so much for being on the show. You're a wonderful guest. You're going to come back, I hope, a lot in the future. And I love seeing you every time we get together.
I love you, Michael. Keep up this amazing work that you do. And thank you for being such a presence of light.
Thank you, Susan.